Hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar on Unlock AIoT, the next generation of embedded technology and design and services. On behalf of Yash Technologies, I'm Yomi Vinayaka from the marketing team and I'm super excited to have you all with us. Today, I feel elated to introduce you to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Sachin Patil, Global Head and Vice President IoT practices and embedded systems at Yash Technologies. With more than 26 years of experience of working with several Fortune 500 companies, Sachin has been creating solutions on emerging and futuristic technologies to help businesses across manufacturing, transportation, automotive, healthcare and life sciences, and energy and utilities verticals. In today's session, Sachin will share, or I must say, unlock some key tips on IoT and embedded systems from the future. We have structured the session first and questions and answers from the audience towards the end. You can share your questions in the chat box as during the session, all attendees will be on mute. So let's begin and please welcome Mr. Sachin Patil.
Hey, thanks, Yomi. Hey, hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. Before we start the session for Unlock AIoT, next generation embedded technology and design in services, I'll briefly introduce about the Yash Technologies, what we are, and what offerings we have, and then obviously we can start talking about how we can unlock the AIoT and what is the next generation embedded technology and design in services come in place. So Yash Technologies are in this business for the 25 years. We are expertising the delivering digital transformation, excellence, and business value. Overall headcount 6,500 plus, all associates working across the globe. Major strength is in India. Then we have enough 50 plus vertical technology and business centric COEs and 40 plus campuses globally. Our global headquarters is in the East Moline, Illinois, USA, and we have a strong and mature alliances with the leading technology and solution providers in digital, IoT, RPA, SAP, and enterprise domain. We are the partner of the choice for more than 450 plus Fortune 500 companies, which covers about the large and mid-sized enterprises and that across the 6 continents. And we help customers to enable their digital journeys, and we are working with 100 plus organizations globally. Our vertical focus comes like the discrete and process manufacturing, energy and utilities sector, life sciences and healthcare, chemical, food, FMCG segment, transportation, which covers about automotive, off-highway vehicle and all, and the logistics domain. And we have a presence in the BFSI domain too. So this is a brief about the Yash Technologies. What IoT offerings and embedded system offerings we are cover like entire spectrum of the embedded system, factory automation, and IoT. When I am talking about embedded, it is all hardware, firmware, platform testing, wireless design, device management. When it is factory automation, it is PLC, SCADA, MES, all this covers. And IoT is all about the sensor to cloud everything. And that is what actually covers the span of that AIoT. And we are going to talk about how unlock AIoT for the next generation of the embedded technology. So let us start with that and just giving a flavor what offerings in IoT we have and how it is helping to convert this into the AIoT solutions to propose to the customer and even to enable that solution at the customer end. So we help customer into the advisory and consulting, product engineering, system engineering, and managed services, and that covers about all edge gateway development, which is very important part of the AIoT we are going to talk about. Then there is a communication protocol services, analytics and platform related services, application development and management. Obviously IoT comes with the IoT, that is artificial intelligence component, and which are going to talk about that. And then there is a data visualization services. So let us begin with what is a IoT first. So everybody knows that IoT is becoming a buzzword, artificial intelligence becoming a buzzword. So artificial intelligence powered IoT application typically called as an AIoT. So artificial intelligence of the things or artificially intelligent powered IoT application is commonly mention for the IoT, which represents a range of the applications which leverage both artificial intelligence expertise as well as IoT expertise. So IoT is nothing but a cyber physical system which extends the internet to the various objects, sensors, and devices kind of things. And obviously, it aims to connect the machines and the objects or the things. What artificial intelligence do? Typically, it brings an intelligence to the machines and objects. So it is capable of learning from the data and performing the specific tasks typically associated with the intelligence found in the human or animal kind of things. So it involves like machine learning, natural language processing, voice and face recognition, deep learning kind of things. So in short, if you see that AI functions as in a brain, IoT acts as in a body. And IoT devices do the connect and collect, transmit the data from the multiple sources, which supports the learning process involved, what we call as a model learning and training, which comes as an artificial intelligence to carry out that automation you are looking for. And then AI brings this complete machine learning and decision making power to the IoT system, and that enhance these data management, analytics, overall decision support system, and which help for the productivity, reliability gain, and all. So the next slide highlight about how this works. So there is a lot of sensors. Obviously, the data come from the sensors, and that considered as an IoT data. There is an analytics platform. Obviously, there is artificial intelligence come in picture, which helps to bring the better outcomes, and that is for the bigger data. It's pretty huge data, and this circle continues over there, and then this model will get trained. The more the data, accurate the results will be. So how it will work typically: data discovery and deployment model. So overall, the convergence of the artificial intelligence and the Internet of the Things together results into the AIoT. So the next slide highlights about what is AIoT basics. There are devices, and now the devices becomes as a smart devices and connected system. Now whatever embedded systems we are talking about, it is no more just embedded system like ECU. It is everything is going into the connected solution form. It is wireless enabled. Then the edge component comes in picture, which plays a vital role, which have a real time and the local processing. What are the advantage? Faster the results, lesser bandwidth, exact predictive analytics you can do, and more security you can bring into the system. And obviously there is a cloud where the big data processing involved, and the potential of the artificial intelligence and IoT brings together in a collective intelligence, digital twin kind of approach, and then autonomous platform. So next slide highlight about how these key elements of the IoT comes. There is a physical products, okay, obviously, which is built as an embedded system, either gateway or other machine and equipment and all. So design, manufacturing, support, and field services plays a vital role. When it comes to the IoT, obviously, connect and collect plays a role, and post that over their configurations, there is a edge component, there is a cloud, enterprise comes in, and now DevOps is also playing a role over there. When it comes to the artificial intelligence, data science, data engineering, intelligence related engineering, and then AI ML ops comes in picture. So in short, it will help for the smart and connected products when you look into the OEM business. But when you look into the smart manufacturing, it all comes like smart and connected solution. So in short, if you see at the right hand side, what is this focus on to the AIoT framework? So there is a IoT component and there is AI component, which mixed together brings us an AIoT. So in simple wording, there is a data available. How you convert this data into the information into the knowledge, and knowledge is into the wisdom, so that when it converts into the wisdom, obviously this AIoT plays a role overall in that activity. Okay, the next slide highlight about what are the business opportunities we quickly cover about before jumping onto the details. So if you see that 50 billion of the connected devices by 2025, and which will generate 80 zettabytes kind of a data. If you see that AI in the manufacturing market, there is a business estimated approximately more than 17 billion by 2025. And now 5G is coming up in the big way. It will contribute as a more than $2 trillion to the global economy by 2035. Okay, and then 35% exclusively go into the manufacturing and utilities sector. So if you see that only embedded AI support, it goes like 4.6 billion plus by 2024. Data as a services which is powered by IoT and AI will be much faster than that of what is today. Structured data market remains greater than that, but however, the unstructured data market will be a takeover because data may be of any form, and AIoT will take care of that going forward in the future. As far as industrial machines concerned, this market will reach more than a 400 million globally, and the machine learning will becoming a key to realize the full potential of the big data and IoT, especially into the edge computing platform. So this is a kind of the business opportunity in the AIoT domain. Now, how it works, right? And how, I mean, we can address into the next generation embedded technology or the design in services. When you talk about IoT, IoT is all about system of systems. It is the scale of the connectivity. So there is embedded systems, which is enabled as a network embedded system. So it may be wireless or wireline connection enablement happen. Automatically, it converts to the cyber physical system. The same things will convert into the intelligent system because AI component, ML component linked to it, and then it will come as an AIoT enablement for the next generation embedded technology. Then what role plays over there? Because if you see, there are a lot of challenges to address. There is a knowledge transfer is required, and then application deployment required. Once this will be done, the technology design plays a vital role, and adoption is also a key over there. Post that, if you can see that there is a completely integrated environment ecosystem need to be built, and then business development angle will come in. So this is overall vision for the systems complexity in terms of the AIoT in the future, and how to unlock the intelligence, we will talk about that. So like there are 4 Ws. Why? What is the purpose for the AIoT, and what are the business outcomes by deploying the IoT solution? What exactly we can do, like smart connected products and solution? How we can do, like execution and delivery approach? Who will do that? So there are roles and responsibilities associated with it. So we will just shed on a light on that part in brief going forward in some of the slides. So why AIoT is required? So it is basically making this environment very smart, like making your factory smart, plant smart. There is a connected solution, smarter homes, smart facilities, and it enables the realization of the smart object devices, network, and environment. It uncovers the timely and actionable insight. Then obviously people-centric application and services you can work on, and then you can enhance and achieve the excellence over there. Obviously, precise prediction and prescriptions are required that can be achieved with the AIoT. Then there is a process excellence, people productivity, all these factors will be addressed. It guarantees a preventive maintenance of the equipment, infrastructure. Yes, we can do that. And then perfect inventory management kind of things we will look into. And then overall, it safeguards the safety and security related aspects, and then further monitor the complex environment. Let it be performance, productivity, and resilience point of view. So if you see in the manufacturing industry, every customer come up with the typical problem statement which covers about the productivity, reliability, bottom line improvement, energy management, and then quality management, standardization, regulation, OPEX reduction, what we call maintenance cost reduction, right? These all will be addressed by the AIoT, and that what why AIoT answers about that. So what are the distinct capabilities of the IoT? Especially when we talk about AIoT, it is in memory and in database analytics you can achieve. Scalability is the key. Today, system will be connected only 100. Tomorrow, maybe 500. Day after tomorrow, 5,000. Then it may be a 50,000, and then it may be a million kind of thing. So that kind of scalability you can bring with the AIoT. Then faster data ingestion, and obviously post preparation layer, there is a multiple layer, but the faster data ingestion will happen. Then obviously better read and write performances and faster query processing happen. Any interfaces you can work on even at the cloud side, like REST and SOAP kind of things will be easy. That is connected with the gateway I'm talking about. Then machine and deep learning capabilities you can bring in. Then integrated and end-to-end platform for all kind of the data and analytics you can bring in. And obviously flexibility and portability plays a role. Additional advantage that distributed processing through the automated sharding. Sharding means there is a large piece of the data, you just chunk put into the small pieces of the data and spread across, and that achieve the partitioning. Okay, so that is the beautiful thing you can do with the AIoT. And then overall for the better data compression, security aspects you can address with the AIoT. So next slide highlights about when it comes to the real time and at edge, what we can address volume. Okay, because ingesting, processing, storing such a huge amount of the data which is generated in the real time. Security. Since the device is, everything is happening at the device level, there is a lot of aspects happening, intelligence at the gateway level or the device level. The security becomes pretty easy. So whatever may be the control aspects or the intrusion aspects and all will be helpful in terms of when we deploying the IoT related solutions. And then obviously it follows with the strict authentication, role-based control, access control will be implemented, and even role-based authentication will be provided over there. Bandwidth, which plays a vital role, that the device constantly sending the sensor and the video data, it will hog the internet and cost for the fortune kind of things. Then obviously edge analytics approaches must be deployed to achieve the scale, the way I said, like 500 to 5,000 to 50,000 to million kind of things. And then it lower the response time because all the actions happen at the device end itself. Then there is a real-time data capture, storage, processing, analytics, knowledge discovery, decision making, any kind of actuation, and overall decision support system become easy. Obviously, it covers about the less latency and faster response will be achieved because the data is not to send to the cloud to run the algorithm and again coming back to the device to initiate that action kind of things. And this combining the real time with the historical state, there is analytic solution which handle the complete batch quite well, and it help ultimately for the repeatable, reusable, and scalable solutions at the end. So what are the drivers for the AIoT? Okay, it is increased security. We already covered about that, but the gist is that the increased security and privacy, reduced data transfer, increased responsiveness, increased resilience, and then increased functionality overall. So the next slide highlight about what is Internet of Things everybody is talking about, and then what is artificial intelligence of the things, right? If you see in the Internet of Things, typically 5 areas will be distinctive, like connect and collect, track and trace, process and visualize, automate and sustain, and all value added services like mobile app and all kind of things we will do. So if you see that in IoT, especially when it happen like connect and collect, okay, it come from the collect, it will store the data, it will process the data, then it will analyze the data, and then the control action will be initiated. But when you come to the AIoT, the local intelligence post connect and collect. So obviously the system will take the decision, and based on that, it will initiate the action also. Further, it will store the data, process the data, analyze the data, and again the various algorithm will run, and based on that, it will act quickly and then initiate the control command kind of thing. So this is the beauty, right? How the transition happened from the IoT to AIoT. So in short, you are deploying the intelligence where the application need it. Okay, so like we are going to talk some of the cases in the manufacturing like OEE or condition based predictive maintenance and all. It helps a lot, and that is the key for the future. Whenever there are multiple use cases, and some of the use cases I will address on that front in the subsequent slide. So how this work? What is this AIoT triangle? If you see that there are completely, IoT sensors, data sources are there, then their architecture will be very, very relevant. But prior to that, we have to be very clear what are our business requirement, what use case we are going to address, what are the KPIs, key performance indicators. Based on that, we need to decide what method we need to follow and what is our algorithm for that. Again, it comes with the UX requirement, like what is the front end and what is dashboards we need to present. And then there are a lot of constraints. It may be technical, physical, and all. You need to address collectively all that when it comes to the AIoT solution building or even deployment. So how that AI plus IoT next generation of the innovation comes in, like artificial intelligence is there, IoT component is there, big data is there, and 5G network is picking it up. So that 5G and future of the connectivity coming in, AI and IoT, that power of the combination is giving like edge intelligence, data acquisitions, video artificial intelligence accelerations, then model deployment, that is the key. And then the various business model will be there, like subscription based model, whether it is a SaaS or PaaS based kind of things, and then you have to look into whether it is a marketplace, industrial application, long-term partnership, how you are addressing. So in short, there is a smart connected network of the devices that seamlessly communicate over the powerful 5G networks, because that will be the future which unleash the power of the data better and faster than ever. Which are the major segments? Smart manufacturing, smart products and application, Smart operations. Now, what is the smart operations apart from manufacturing and products? Like, let us take the case of the airport baggage handling system. Okay, these are considered as a smart operations, which is neither fall into the manufacturing nor fall into the product. But making that intelligence and AIoT enabled is the key kind of things. Then obviously there is a variables are coming up because let us take the case of the connected worker and all. I mean, and then they have a lot of PPEs. Even tracking of the PPEs and AIoT component is playing a role over there. The smart homes, smart cities, retail, industry, transportation, and healthcare are the some of the key aspects associated with it. When it comes to the embedded and IoT, what are the key strategies? Obviously, there is a core design in services, then comes as an edge intelligence system and solutions, and then overall design and manufacturing services. So obviously, focus on to the core business, leading innovation, time to market plays a role. When it comes to the edge part of it, new market creation, partner collaboration is very, very essential. And when it comes to the design and manufacturing services, vertical market focus or the point solution or the digital transformation journey where to put in matters a lot. So if you see that the digital transformation earlier 1.0 to 2.0, how it is covering, like there is a automation pyramid, what you used to call into the manufacturing domain, so that field layer typically is there, and then there is a stabilization layer where a lot of sensors and equipments are there. So one layer up comes as a complete stabilization layer, which is bought through the PLC and all kind of things. There are RTUs, and then there are other electronic control units and all. One layer up comes as a SCADA, which is called as a supervisory control and data acquisition system. One layer comes as a production scheduling, production management, and then ERP used to come. But now if you see, this also convert from southbound to northbound, even east to westbound. So there are sensors, there is a wireless communication, there are gateway, there may be wireless or wireline communication, edge server will come in picture. Post that, cloud infrastructure starts. So there is a data acquisition layer, there is a storage, there is a analytics, and then there is a visualization component. And then there is a monetization comes in. And that is the beauty of the digital transformation 2.0, that you are bringing in AIoT solutions either on the internet apps or on the edge component and on the various business model like SaaS, PaaS and all. And even like there is a infrastructure as a services from the public cloud or the private cloud you can achieve. And this is how you can going for the digital enterprises of the next generation. So what is this embedded typical services required? So there is an app add-ons kind of thing. So obviously design plays a role, and what plays a role essentially is the hardware selection, power consumption, form factor. And then obviously when you select about the form factor, looking to the environmental condition, you have to select whether IP66, 68 kind of things. Protocols, it is just indicative protocol written like CAN protocol. Okay, then there is a J1939 kind of things, Modbus, Profibus, BLE, Bluetooth, LoRa, Wi-Fi, even GPRS, Bluetooth Classic kind of thing. So anything, and even like NB-IoT kind of protocols need to be integrated. Yes, that is very essential need to consider. What diagnostics will go into it? Then there is a control diagnostics, connection diagnostics, and system diagnostics. Okay, management, when it comes, there is a screen control, there is a resource management, application management. Again, security plays a vital role. So everybody have to look into the whether it is secure boot, device locking mechanism is there. Again, license associated with that handled properly, penetration testing, threat modeling, and then secure on the device data kind of things. When it comes to the SDK part of it, there is a Qt, Python, then Java, HTML kind of things will come in. Maintenance point of view, there over there configuration, it may be firmware over there or software over there, remote desktop applications or app management. When it comes to the control, it may be device control, system control, port access and models access. And then unified core plays on a role like Yocto, real-time, Ubuntu kind of things. And then when it comes to the actual Edge AI, that is pre-trained models and Edge AI apps need to be built on. And obviously this unified embedded platform plays in terms of the unified core, what we already talked about. There are industrial drivers, performance optimization, and then peripheral integration. Again, the modularized framework will help to build such a kind of embedded devices at the gateway in order to come up with the AIoT solution. And then obviously there are value-added services where you are building the industrial apps and SDKs. And then overall you are bringing the edge intelligence, and the factors you need to consider further is the privacy, multi-tenancy support, and enable the IoT solutions, which will be cost effective, easy to expand. So repeatable, reusable, scalable approach will come in, and then continuous operation should be in picture. So how that design services play, especially embedded AI IoT we are talking about. So there is a embedded BIOS, operating system, application program interfaces you need to look into. Intelligent self-healing is very, very essential. Okay, that the system has to proactively take some decisions, whatever the model building, and it is initiating the action. Edge intelligence and sensor integration plays a vital role over there. Again, that prior to that board bring up kind of activity, because you are designing the board, even like piggyback kind of the boards will help, and you have to build into that specific form factor and what IO extensions are required, what kind of simulations you want to build in. Even thermal simulation is one of the things you can build in over there. And then there is application solutions, like in the manufacturing industry, what you're looking for. Some of the example I just mentioned as an use cases, like smart asset management or OE kind of things, or even smart thermometer systems, or a smart health monitoring for the equipments they have, and all. And then obviously there is a lot of embedded modules required in terms of the storage, memory, and wireless. We need to take care of that. And then there is an industrial display system, HMI, to present as a dashboard or any other reports and all. And the various business models in terms of the services we need to look into. So there will be a SaaS aspect, there is a PaaS aspect, platform as a services, and cloud services is essential to do that. So when you are designing that completely embedded AIoT, all these things need to be keep in the mind. And one of the viewpoint we will discuss into the subsequent slide, how it will go when you are completely taking into end point of view, what we called as a 9 yards point of view. Okay. Now, what you need to choose on a right hardware platform, right, for AIoT applications. So what is the steps to do that? First, you have to understand processing requirement for the different phases of that AI implementation. So it covers about the data collection. It may be a public data, it may be a business data, it may be government data. Then there is a raw data kind of thing, so which is untouched data, and then unstructured data. There is a metadata concept, which is data about the data you need to collect about that. And then there is a transform data, which is adding in a value added data kind of things. And then you have to train the model. So obviously training is very essential. And then interfacing aspects for the sensorization and all, you need to look into it. Again, edge computing level is very plays a vital role in terms of this low, medium, and high. What kind of development tools you are going to use, whether it is a deep learning framework, NLP, natural language processing you are going to use, hardware-based accelerator toolkit you are using, and all, it plays a role over there. What kind of ML models you want to build in general when it is helping, because this ML model is again specific for the specific set of the equipment will come in later in order to go for this AIoT. Environmental concerns, are you working into the harsh environment? Are you working into the super complex environment? Yes, what kind of things will be there? So again, this plays in a role for the designing the right hardware platform. And additional thing you have to look into that the computing performance, power consumption, because when you are adding AI component, the power consumption is very high, and that need to be addressed. Obviously, it will be linked to the reliability, and then cost goes up, that you have to control. And again, the form factor, you have to look into that. You have to build within that specific. So I mean specifications, whatever is required, and as per the need. And then operating system to choose whether it is Linux or Ubuntu or Android specific things. So this is some of the hardware platform, the right hardware platform selection criteria you have to look into. And then some questions definitely comes. Does the platform provide the sufficient computing power for the heavy data processing at the edge? Because if you see some of the applications, some data is required like microsecond, nanosecond kind of things. Okay, so huge data will be generated at that point of time. Does the module, whatever you are building, have the building in wireless connectivity, which may be like NB IoT, LoRa, Wi-Fi, GPRS, BLE kind of things? And whether it need an additional wireless gateway or the application layer need to be right on that, that need to be look into that carefully. Does the solution need to fit inside the space limited in the cabinet, also form factor wise? And again, size concerned, when it comes to the embedded device, memory management plays a role, like service image creations and all kind of things. So that also plays a vital role, and that meticulously need to look into that. And will the platform deploy into the harsh, hazardous, or the outdoor environments, and what IP, whether it is 66, 68 kind of things, that we need to take care at the initial stage, even creating a rapid prototype for that. what are the challenges comes into the IoT? Especially lack of necessary flexibility for the running the applications over the embedded system. So how means what kind of typical problems? There is a problems in ensuring the smooth integration with the new services. Then there is a difficulty in adapting the new environments. Then frequent changes in the hardware happen and even the software which is coming. Then obviously issues in the packaging and the integration of the small size of the chip with the low weight and again power consumption create an concerns over there. And then you have to carry out that energy awareness operations, etc. kind of things. Security crisis that to be need to be looking very carefully, and that is one of the challenge still. Okay, then high power dissipation of the embedded system design, because when everything is functional, power consumption is very high. Still, that device need to be active, and that will be need to look into the very carefully. Problems of the testing and embedded system design. So it is hardware testing, verification, and validation need to look into. And then inadequate functional safety or the safety critical embedded systems we have to look into. And obviously it impact overall into the cost and time to market. That factors need to be looked into, but these are the typical challenges when you are designing the hardware for the especially AIoT applications. Just let us just discuss about what is this AIoT impact, what we are going to achieve. So today if you see that there is edge computing is already there, okay, and then there is a current state. If you can see, there are a smart thermostat or the smart appliances are already there where the data processed by the device itself and then they are initiating the action. But if you go into the future, you can see that home robots, autonomous vehicles kind of things will come in, and that edge computing factor will be already embedded into it. Okay, voice AI. Right now, there is a smart speakers or voice activated things are there, but then NLP will becomes as a very fast, and obviously payment, voice recognition, authentication services comes in. Even the system in the manufacturing domain will tell what to do kind of things, and that whatever truly machine to machine connectivity, and one machine will talk to other machine, and then they will plan the activities and they will optimize the activities within themselves kind of things. Vision AI is another example. There is a massive object detection and 4K resolution, but the video analytics will be do on the edge itself, and the action will be initiated itself on the device. No need to send this data to the cloud to run the algorithm and bring back and take the action kind of things. And then Super 8K resolution may come in the future. Okay, this is what about framework. Obviously, this slide highlight about the framework. So now we covered about all what are the hardware, what goes into the IoT and all. But only focusing on to the hardware aspect is not going to help. So how AIoT framework works? So there is an implementation viewpoint, there is a data and functional viewpoint, there is a usage viewpoint, and then there is a business viewpoint. Okay, and all we talked about in short about that implementation viewpoint, which is linked to the other aspects to it. So obviously we talked about chip selection, hardware design, asset integration, software architecture, what AI platform need to go, how IoT network selection we will do. Further, data and functional viewpoint plays a role in terms of the API landscape or what services we need to offer. How the data domain model need to be required when it is going into the process industry as an example. Okay, so there is a like conveyors, pumps, mixers, motors. Obviously, you have to create that data domain model. When it is in the machinery, SPMs, special purpose machineries or the packaging machines, you have to create that data domain model separately on that. And again, when it comes to the usage viewpoint, you have to create the solution sketch. Then obviously user stories you need to create and how that journey will be, and mockups and wireframes you need to create in order to create the dashboards further. And then comes into the business model, whether it is a subscription-based business model or capex plus opex business model. Then you need to do the site surveys, epics, and then you have to come up with the business model, maybe on SaaS base, PaaS base, and then how that capex plus opex works together. So overall, that productized solution viewpoint you can bring in with the proper story map and backlog associated with it kind of thing. So this is highlights about the overall framework of the AIoT. How this architecture work? Let us shed on a light on that part quickly. There is a hardware architecture, and obviously when we are talking about you are selecting the module as an ESP32, obviously there is a screen, there is a sensors, you have to look whether it's temperature, vibration, acceleration, acoustic, pressure, and all. And then there is a pin headers kind of things you look into. Then obviously there is a battery you have to look into, and then there is a lot of, I mean, interfaces you have to build on. Okay, for the memory slot you have to provide, make the provision. Then there is a AI chip comes in picture, and then real-time drive controller. So you have to be look into that, how that hardware architecture and how you are going to go ahead and that. And obviously software architecture point of view, that there is a real-time layer, real-time view comes in, then there's a batch layer or the serving layer, and then there is a query processing kind of things will come in picture. AI platform plays a role over here in terms of the data, how you convert this data to the information, information to the knowledge, and knowledge to wisdom. So there is a data preparation layer. So pre-processing is required. So there is a training data set and testing data set aspects comes in. And obviously there is a middleware, database management system, storage, hardware, OS, everything is plays a role. When it comes to the model training, whether it is a network model or model training will come in. So TensorFlow, Cafe kind of things will come in, and then there is a distribution for the CPU, central processing unit, or the graphical processing unit, or the tensor processing unit kind of things. And then it comes to the model repository, what we call as a train model. We are talking about like there is a fault diagnostic library in one of the use case, how it is going to help to generate and that. And then it will be convert into the production form, then whether it is a field or the backend. And then there is asset intelligence or the swarm intelligence. Swarm intelligence is the collective behavior of the decentralized things, and that is you can bring in quickly, which will really help for the anomaly detection. Okay, so next slide highlight about some of the applications. What applications comes into the AIoT? So edge computing, collaborative robots, what we called as an cobots, then there are the digital twins, and then autonomous delivery robots will come in picture. So some of the use cases, what I mean, typically going into the market is the intelligent asset management and industrial maintenance, quality management and zero defect manufacturing, occupancy monitoring, which comes typically into the facilities management, cattle monitoring, process management, robots for the manufacturing industry, intelligent traffic system, what we call ITS or the traffic management, now self-driving car, ADAS kind of system coming up, smart homes, smart buildings are coming up, body sensors, face detection applications are coming up. As a Yash Technologies, we already delivered the solutions into the intelligent asset management as well as cattle monitoring. One of the use case we addressed and we already delivered, I will tell you, that is for the herd management system into the dairy equipment farm manufacturing company. I mean, they are manufacturing company into the Europe. So there is like sensors which cover like typically temperature, vacuum, pulsation, and all. And then there is a gateway. And that gateway is the intelligent gateway. Approximately 200,000 plus line of the code is going into that gateway kind of things. And obviously it is connected on the BLE. And then there is a wireless or wireline communication. And then obviously it is connected to the edge server. That edge server is, there's a lot of component like OS related kernel programming and things will come in. And then later it will go to the cloud. And obviously there is AWS cloud we used. And then there is completely like green grass for the provisioning of the devices, Lambda for the serverless function, and multiple things are there. So this kind of activity we already did for the herd management. Even it will go further for the cattle monitoring, what we called as an animal monitoring system kind of things. Additionally, the next step approach will come as an exclusive AIoT approach, which will help for the use cases like spare part management, warranty management, lease management, and all. In my past career, obviously, intelligent asset management and all is the key, like where we manage the 35,000 assets, right from the sensorization to complete cloud framework. And AIoT application plays on a vital role over there. So these are the some of the applications I thought to quickly shed on a light on that, and how that next generation embedded technology and build in design services will help overall. Some of the applications we already talked about, so like transportation section, there is a logistics, traffic management, emergency services, highway related things will come in. When it is comes to the home, like health, entertainment, securities. When it comes to the healthcare, obviously doctors, then home users, policymakers, industrialists, everybody is helping. Even at the national level, like there are smart grids, defense system, remote monitoring is required for everywhere, and then a diagnostic angle will come to it, and then utilities angle will be there. So everywhere now AIoT application is becoming predominant. So some of the applications which are the use case form we already discussed, like transportation, and obviously in the IoT form, lot of things coming it up, and we also address with some of the customer like a pioneer tractor manufacturing company like telematics solution, and then data prep, data ingestion, and completely analytics kind of things we already delivered over there. And then there is a additional use cases comes like service scheduling, spare part management, warranty management. Manufacturing overall equipment effectiveness playing a role, but it is not limiting to the monitoring only, but they expect that now decision support system, the system need to tell how I can improve the OE. OE is all about performance, availability, and quality. Okay. So this kind of a use case will be built with the AIoT, and that will become a classical industry application in the future. CBM, condition-based preventive maintenance, is playing a role, and obviously it will tell when your rotating equipment or the oscillating equipment going to fail. So this is a just point solution I'm talking about. However, even plant-wide, like smart asset management and all, so it will help overall into the digital transformation journey. Okay, then digital twin kind of application, one into this going into the simulation mode, another going into the real time, and then simulation mode data will be fed into the real time, look into the error correction, again feedback kind of thing. So that is one approach which is picking up the very fast. And again, spare part management, warranty management kind of things are becoming very popular. Mining, yes, that is also one of the things like autonomous mining trucks, surface mining, smart control systems, and safety and security system. In the IoT domain, we are already working with the top-notch American mining company, and gradually we will take the solution to the AIoT way kind of things in the near future. Oil and gas, utilities and smart cities, and wearable are another areas. So what typically, if you see, what is going to achieve at the end, like you will achieve the operational excellence, technical excellence, and process excellence by deploying the AIoT solution in general. So some of these things I can just mention, like there is a safety and productivity for the autonomous mining trucks, okay, how it will help into the mining industry. So there is a satellite-based navigation system. And if you see that this is help for the haulage system, these trucks carries almost like 400 tons of the rocks and other material. And then these drivers are working like 10 to 12 hours continuously at the given point of time. And then the fatigue is the biggest challenge and problem comes in. How to address when the system start taking the intelligent decision, how the maneuver are supposed to be, if they are entering into the very difficult terrain, what the trajectory will be and all. So the system will tell them what to do as an action, and then they will take it forward to the next step. And obviously it will be uh, enabled by all vision system, navigation system and all, and then it will reach out to the right place at the destination without much hassle kind of things, where AIoT plays a role, what we call typically automated hauling system. And then cameras for the smart homes, and also right now there is a detection of the intruder happen, then there is a cloud server then which sends the data to the cloud, and then they run some algorithm, check the image and all, compare with the lookup table, and then it will initiate the alert, and then they will identify it is an intruder. Rather than coming into the future, there will be edge AI camera, and then faster, smaller, and smarter uh, things will come in picture, and it will initiate the alert at that point of time, or early warning to the respective owner and all kind of things. So this is the future how that AIoT comes in place. Let us discuss one use case, okay, condition based preventive maintenance. Okay, so there is a lot of rotating equipment into the manufacturing company, okay, oscillating equipments, and then there is a pump, motors, compressors, and all kind of things are there, right? So now everybody is coming up with the problem statement. They want to know when my equipment is going to fail, and that is what the beauty of the AIoT edge gateway comes in picture, and then complete system will be. So what typically people looks into this performance prediction and life prediction, but what challenges comes in data availability, data latency, and then prediction accuracy kind of things. Obviously, in order to build that solution, you have to follow some approach where you require as a domain expert. You have to build a hybrid model for the performance and live predictions. You have to look into the accelerated live test, and then you have to build a model which automate the system for the continuous learning, and again improve the models dynamically. Okay, based on that field condition, whatever they have. So if you see what kind of expertise required, you have to require a domain expertise. You have to identify the target application, then look into the skilled manpower who will be understand the sensor integration, networking protocols, AI, ML, deep learning capabilities, analytics, imaging, processing, and all. And then obviously MIL, SIL, HIL kind of things which is required and all. And then digital twin properties or repositories you have to look into, because obviously you have to look where it is applicable. If it is a process industry, if it is a building automation, if it is a um, off-highway vehicle kind of things, or oil and gas sector, machinery, because if you go to the power generation, then there is a boilers, turbine, generators will be there. If you go to the ONG sector, there are pumps, pressure vessels, motors, valves, boilers, so kind of things. When you go to the building, again, compressors, transformers, pumps, motors, elevators plays a role. So there is a lot of things you need to look into. And so there is a edge gateway, there is analytics and visualization component will be. And then it actually tell you when your equipment is going to fail. So like a lot of sensorization, if you take the case of the chiller, there is a vibration, temperature, acoustic, city sensors you have to use. When you take the rotating equipment, sometimes you have to use the pressure and load sensors also. And then that data will be integrated into the edge. And then there is a signature based modeling people will use, which dynamically building in a fault diagnostic library. And then it will create and alert early warnings and all, and even the anomaly detection happen very fast. So that is one of the classical use case of the AIoT. I just thought to shed on a light on that. However, in the interest of the time, I will just will not explain or go further on this, but if any questions will be there later, we can take it up. Okay. So if you see that overall cooperation framework in AIoT, there is a innovation aspects comes in, then there is a platforms and interoperability, which is very, very essential. Then there are IoT accelerators you need to look into, whether it is a hardware accelerator, software accelerators, or the model accelerator, anything kind of things, right? Then obviously business models will play a role over there. And then industrial platforms you have to look, and then international cooperation point of view, how this will govern going forward AIoT as in a platform initiatives. Okay, that plays an overall role. However, in that, one more approach is coming, which is I just thought to quickly address, like digital twin approach, how that hybrid modeling approach is also coming up. So there is a physical based models, then the verification and tuning, then you have to create the hybrid model based on that. And obviously it gives a very accurate insight in terms of the equipment health, the degradation when it comes to the manufacturing industry, or they called as an RUL, what we call remaining useful life kind of things. Then you have to create the model of the equipments, and then obviously multivariant failure or the production model you have to look into. And then you have to create that model library for whatever is required. So let us take the case of the manufacturing industry we talked about. So there is a model for the diesel generator, chiller, compressor, transformer, or induction motors. Sometimes even there is grinders or even truck, like in the off-highway vehicle kind of things, or there is a HVAC kind of system. You can create a model. So that is obviously this cooperation framework. We work with either OEMs or the service providers, essentially going forward in the AIoT. I will just take a couple of minutes before we enter into the question answer session. Now DevOps is playing a role, and then there is a Agile DevOps, there is a AI DevOps, and then obviously there is a AIoT DevOps is coming up. And obviously there is a code or AI models comes in picture. There is a cloud integration, edge aspect comes in. So obviously it will start with the planning, coding, build, test, and then release happens. And obviously deploy happen, operate, monitor. Again, based on that, you have to go back and plan the activities accordingly. So how overall that AIoT DevOps works, okay? Because I'm not going to shed on a light of how that Agile DevOps and AI DevOps, and then how it is enhanced as an ultimately AIoT DevOps, okay? But just to give an idea, like there is edge and cloud software component. So there is a lot of developers are working. There is AI ML model creation comes in picture. There is a data scientist, data engineers are coming up. Continuous delivery is coming up. So obviously provisioning of the devices, provisioning of the software, provisioning of the IML models will come in picture, or their configuration, let it be FOTA, SOTA kind of things, what we call firmware over there, software over there. And then obviously there is QA aspects or user acceptance testing, field test, production will come in picture. Again, it will come with the continuous integration in terms of the commit, like code commit or the model commit kind of things, and then build, unit, test, code quality plays in a role. And then AI/ML model packaging will plays in a role, and obviously server depository manager, you have to be look into the proper way. And then continuous testing comes in. When it comes to the hardware, there is HIL, SIL, MIL kind of things. And then incident management system plays a role for the ticket generation, tracking. Then test matrix need to be created, CI/CD should help, and then test suites and the test scripts will be generated kind of things. So I just thought that in the interest of the time, I will limit my discussion over here. But overall, if you see that AIoT help to convert the data to the information, information to the knowledge, and knowledge to the wisdom, which overall brings into the operational excellence, technical excellence, and process excellence. If it go to the manufacturing industry, they will look into that called as an overall manufacturing excellence into their digital transformation journey. So let us take some questions, and because in the interest of the time, we have 8 minutes to go. So why not to take some questions on that?
Thank you, Sachin. The combination of the two technologies, AI and IoT, AIoT, undoubtedly is a realm of endless possibilities for the future. So, without further ado, let's go to the first question. So, the first question we have here is, are there AIoT gateways available in the market which can be bought to start developing applications?
Answer is, to be very honest, no, because at present, no, I mean, AIoT gateways are available easily in the market, which you can take and start building the model on the top of it kind of things. Okay. Right now, whatever application is required, custom built application will be built. The way, like, let us take the case, there is a condition-based preventive maintenance for the manufacturing industry we talked about, right? Obviously there is a lot of component need to be considered based on that requirement, like what challenges they want to address, what is the solution component associated with it, what kind of approach they want to follow in order to bring that business outcome. And also generic gateway in the market is not available AIoT, but coming future people may come up with the solution specific gateways. However, a lot of people, what they are trying today, they are bringing some gateways and they are start writing an application layer, and they are trying to incline whether they are able to convert to the AIoT kind of things. But there is a lot of limitations they are looking at present in that case. However, at present state, in the present era, AIoT application is grooming. Demand is coming big way. Still people are building their custom built gateway specific to the application, and there are solution provider who are coming with the gateway. Even let us take the case of the AWS as an example, right? AWS is coming up with a small hardware suite called as a Monitron, okay, which will help for the condition based maintenance or condition based monitoring, and even look into the OE kind of things. There are a lot of people, players in the market who build their own gateways, what is treated as an AIoT gateways, and there are various companies. And from Yash Technologies, we prefer to offer the services to build that gateways for the specific customer.
Thank you, Sachin. The next question for you is, AIoT solutions may be costly while deployment. Are there business models to deploy the solution so that it can become economical and cost can be controlled?
Yes. Okay, let me put in this. There is answer yes, partly no. Okay, how answer is yes, that there is a various business model we need to generate. If it is a one-time cost, customer is preferring, the cost will shoot up like anything. But ideally, there is a business model we can bring into the capex plus opex, okay, capital expenditure and then operational expenditure point of view, which will further go into the SaaS based model, what we call as a subscription based model. So there is a monthly charge associated with it. If you can bring it, and then there is a slab based modeling, like how many devices you need to deploy, like let us say 100. So there is a charges associated with it, and what is this per month subscription fees will be. Okay, so that business model you can bring in. If there is 1,000, that slab will changes, and then cost of that subscription will come drastically down. If it is 10,000, come further down kind of things. So this one business model is the capex plus opex base. Another business model will be exclusively SaaS or the PaaS-based kind of things. And third business model is purely outcome-based model. So whatever savings, ROIs you will do, obviously you can retrieve the sum of the cost out of it and pass it on to the customer, and then you can recover your own charges and all, in order to control the cost on that aspects. And then obviously one-time cost, if the customer prefer to go with and want to own everything kind of things, that is the another business model we can go ahead.
Thank you, Sachin. This brings us to the end of our webinar. We are grateful for your enthusiasm and participation. Thank you for joining us today. If you need more information, you can write to us at info@yash.com. Also, we are available on all social media channels, including LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Do look out for us. We look forward to staying in touch. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thanks everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy.